Hi, this is Garrett Franco, and this is my self-reflective narrative. BGP learning outcomes are expectations that are expected to be met while taking a course at Bowling Green. The expectations for this course were English, Composition, and Oral Communications, also known as ECOC 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Some of the major papers written in this semester were Critical Reading Assessment, Multiple Source Essay, Pre-Search Narrative and Annotated Bibliography, and Synthesized Supported Argument Paper. ECOC 1 was to formulate effective written and/or oral arguments which are based upon appropriate credible research. In GSW, we were to engage in the electronic research and composing process, including locating, evaluating, disseminating, using, and acknowledging research. I illustrated this by learning how to conduct research for credible sources, how to narrow my research, how to use the library database. I did this through the assignments, library week activities, where we learned how to use the library and search for our research, and we were quizzed over that, and the research narrative, where we wrote about what our research process was. An example of this came in my research narrative and annotated bibliography, where we cited the work like it would be in our cited work page. Then we gave a summary of the article and how it could be helpful in our paper. And then we gave some useful quotes that we could use in our paper from the article. Some of these I didn't cite right in this thing, but hopefully I did it right in future papers. So my growths and strengths from ECOC 1 was finding sources, narrowing research, and deciding what research is credible. Weaknesses I need to improve on is finding peer-reviewed and academic sources, which I can do by checkmarking the boxes in the library that are peer-reviewed. ECOC 2 was to construct materials which respond effectively to the needs of a variety of audiences, with emphasis upon academic audiences. GSW course learning outcome was to demonstrate the importance of value systems in academic writing, including the abilities to write effectively to audiences with opposing viewpoints, to participate in an active learning community that values academic honesty, and to recognize the place of writing within learning processes. I illustrated this by learning to organize my research, use a tone appropriate for academic audiences in all of my essays during the course of the semester, and writing in a way that is respectful to others with opposing viewpoints. I did this in the research process for my assignments. Some examples of this was in my synthesized supported argument paper and in my multiple source essay. Some of my strengths for this is my organizing research, which I didn't do well in my rough draft for essay 4, but hopefully I fixed for the final draft, and using counter arguments. Some weaknesses I need to improve on is using more professional phrases in my writing. ECOC 3 was to analyze how the principles of rhetoric work together to promote effective communication. GSW course learning outcome was to practice the process entailed in academic writing, including recursive processes for drafting text, collaborative effective activities, the development of personalized strategies, and strategies for identifying and locating source materials. I illustrated this by studying materials given to us in the rhetoric and synthesis, participating in discussion boards which allowed me to practice using examples of synthesis, and using these skills to construct synthesized arguments. I did this through the assignments, multiple source essay, synthesized supported argument, and the library week activities, and the discussion boards. Some examples of this came in one of our synthesized discussion board, where we were asked to take our work and work from 2 other students to combine them all into one paragraph through synthesis. and another example came from my synthesized supported argumentative paper. I did this by making sure that the second citation in my paragraphs either agreed, disagreed, or supported the citations earlier in the paragraph. So my growth and strengths was forming arguments, and the weakness I need to improve on is synthesizing. ECOC 5 is to utilize rhetorical strategies that are well suited to the rhetorical situation, including appropriate voice, tone, and levels of formality. GSW course learning outcomes were to demonstrate rhetorical knowledge through writing in a variety of academic genres and to a variety of academic audiences, and to disseminate knowledge of the conventions of academic writing, including format and documentation systems, coherent devices, conventional syntax, and control over surface features such as grammar, punctuation, mechanics, and spelling. I illustrated this by using appropriate tone in my writing for the selected audiences, usually academic, and style of writing. Remembering to write in a formal structure, learning to use the MLI writing format and citation system, growing in use of grammar, punctuation, and spelling by doing peer reviews and reviewing other peer reviews of my work with an open mind. I did this through the assignments reading and using rhetorical writings assigned by the professor, discussing audience, purpose, context, and ethos, logos, and pathos. Reviewing teacher comments and peer reviews, also using the Learning Commons, Writing Center, and applying comments. Revising rough drafts for the final submission, and the MLA quiz during library week. An example of this can be seen in my critical rating assessment. Some growths and strengths in this would be my grammar and my punctuation and my citations. My weakness and needs for improvement are my spelling and my vocabulary, which with my dyslexia can be difficult, but through spell check and the thesaurus and Microsoft Word and other apps I can use on my iPad, I've gotten a lot better on this. And ECOC6 is to demonstrate critical thinking, reading, and writing strategies when crafting arguments that synthesize multiple points of view. The GSW course learning outcome was to demonstrate critical thinking writing skills through approaching academic writing assignments as a series of cognitive tasks, including engaging in multiple modes of inquiry, synthesizing multiple points of view, critiquing students and professional writing, and assessing source materials. I illustrated this by expressing both sides of an argument that I found through research on my topics, making sure to look for multiple opinions when doing my research, making sure they were credible sources, and using them to synthesize ideas into my essays, and participating in peer reviews throughout the semester. I did this to the assignments, pre-writing exercises, and peer review. An example of this can be seen in my counter-argument and my synthesized supported argumentative paper. My growths and strengths in this is forming counter-arguments, finding multiple views, and my weaknesses and needs for improvement is making sure to keep an open mind when I'm doing my research. Overall, I feel like I have grown in my writing this semester and gained a better respect for academic writing. In the future, this will be helpful as I pursue my pre-med degree and continue on to graduate school, where I will need to do lots of research and be able to read and write academic papers.